The wrong frequency. The mining platform Serenity's Dream drifted silently through the asteroid field, its delicate crystalline hull catching the light from distant stars. Chief Engineer Zora adjusted her six-fingered hands on the controls, her pearl-white skin shimmering with contentment. The Kenobi people had been peaceful miners for thousands of years, gently extracting precious metals from asteroids without violence or destruction. Another beautiful day among the stars, she whispered to herself, watching her team work through the observation deck. The Kenobi were a gentle species, standing barely 4 feet tall with translucent skin that showed their emotions through changing colors. They had evolved on a world of floating islands and crystal caves, developing technology that worked in harmony with nature rather than dominating it. Zara's assistant, young Pip, bounded over with excitement. His skin was glowing soft blue, which meant he had discovered something wonderful. Chief Zara, the new asteroid has the highest concentration of healing crystals we have ever found. Our people back home will be so happy. The healing crystals were the Kenobi's greatest treasure. They could cure diseases and repair damaged tissue across dozens of species throughout their peaceful sector of the galaxy. The Kenobi freely shared these crystals with anyone who needed them, asking for nothing in return except friendship. "That is wonderful news, Pip," Zara said, her own skin glowing warm gold with joy. "Begin the gentle extraction process. We must be careful not to damage the crystal matrix." But as Pip activated the mining beam, something went terribly wrong. The asteroid contained an unknown mineral that reacted violently with their extraction technology. The mining beam sparked and overloaded, sending electrical surges throughout the platform. Alarms began ringing throughout Serenity's Dream. The gentle, musical tones that usually warned of minor problems were now screaming in harsh discord. Zara rushed to the emergency controls, her skin flashing between red and white with panic. "Pip, shut down all mining operations," she called out. Everyone moved to emergency stations. The electrical surge had damaged more than just the mining equipment. The platform's main communications array was overloading, sending out random signals across space. Zara tried desperately to shut it down, but the controls were not responding. In the communications room, Senior Operator Nix was fighting a losing battle with the damaged equipment. His normally calm, blue-green skin was cycling through colors so fast it looked like a light show. "Chief Zara, I cannot control the transmission array. It is broadcasting on frequencies I have never seen before." What Nix did not know was that the damaged equipment had accessed an ancient military frequency, one that had not been used for over 2,000 years. It was a frequency from the Great War, when the terrifying Void Hunters had nearly destroyed all life in this sector of the galaxy. The signal that went out into space was not the usual Kenobi distress call. Instead of their gentle request for assistance, the damaged equipment was broadcasting in the old war code. To anyone listening, it sounded like, "Void Hunter attack force detected. Massive casualties. Request immediate military intervention. Coordinates attached." Light years away on the fortified world of Terra Prime, Admiral Sarah Chen was reviewing routine reports when her communication console erupted in urgent beeping. Sarah was a veteran of humanity's expansion into space, a tough woman with graying hair and eyes that had seen too much war. She had fought pirates, rebels, and hostile aliens throughout her 30-year career. But when she saw the signal that had just arrived, her blood ran cold. The message was in the old war code, the one used during humanity's first contact with alien civilizations 2 centuries ago. It was the code used when facing extinction-level threats. "Commander Torres, get in here now." Sarah barked into her intercom. Commander Miguel Torres rushed into her office, still carrying the tactical reports he had been studying. Miguel was Sarah's second-in-command, a brilliant strategist who had helped plan humanity's greatest military victories. When he saw the look on Sarah's face, he knew something was terribly wrong. "What is it, Admiral?" Miguel asked. Sarah turned her screen toward him. "We just received a war code transmission from Sector 7. Look at the message." Miguel read the decoded transmission and felt his heart skip a beat. According to the message, the Void Hunters had returned. The Void Hunters were the most terrifying enemy humanity had ever heard of. 2,000 years ago, they had swept through this part of the galaxy, destroying entire civilizations and consuming whole planets. "Are you sure this is authentic?" Miguel asked, hoping against hope that it was some kind of mistake. Sarah was already pulling up star charts and fleet positions. The transmission is using codes that have been classified for 2 centuries. Either the Void Hunters are back, or someone with access to our most secret military files is trying to start a war. Either way, we cannot take any chances. Within minutes, Sarah had activated humanity's highest military alert. Emergency signals went out to every human world, every space station, and every ship in the fleet. The message was simple but terrifying. Code Black. Void Hunter activity confirmed. All available forces report for immediate deployment. Humanity had grown strong during their centuries in space. They had learned to fight in the harshest environments, to survive where other species could not, and to protect their allies with overwhelming force. The human fleet was the most powerful military force in known space, and now all of it was mobilizing for war. Admiral Chen stood in the command center of the dreadnought Indomitable Will, watching the greatest fleet in human history assemble around her. 300 ships of war, from massive battle cruisers to swift attack frigates, formed up in perfect formation. Each ship carried enough firepower to level a city, and together they could destroy entire star systems if necessary. Fleet status report. Sarah called out to her bridge crew. Lieutenant Commander Jackson, her tactical officer, consulted his displays. "All ships ready for combat, Admiral. We have 200,000 Marines aboard the troop transports, enough heavy weapons to siege a planet, and medical facilities to treat massive casualties. The fleet is ready for anything." Sarah nodded grimly. This was how humanity responded to threats. They brought everything they had, prepared for the worst possible scenario, and hit their enemies with such overwhelming force that victory was assured. It was brutal, efficient, and absolutely terrifying to anyone who stood against them. "Set course for Sector 7, maximum speed," Sarah ordered. "If the Void Hunters want a fight, we will give them one they will never forget." The human fleet jumped to hyperspace, racing toward what they believed was a massive battle against their most dangerous enemy. Behind them, Earth's government was already preparing for total war. Factories began producing weapons and ammunition around the clock. Civilian ships were being converted into troop transports. Every human world was mobilizing for the fight of their lives. But far away in Sector 7, the Kenobi had no idea what was coming. Zara and her crew had managed to stop the worst of the electrical fires on Serenity's Dream, but their communications were still damaged. They had no way of knowing that their distress signal had been mistranslated into a declaration of war. "Chief Zara," Pip called out from the sensor station, his skin now a worried shade of purple. "I am detecting ships approaching our position. Many ships." Zara moved to look at the displays, expecting to see a small rescue vessel from their homeworld. Instead, she saw something that made her skin turn completely white with terror. 300 warships were approaching their position, moving in perfect military formation. What kind of beings send an entire battle fleet to rescue a mining platform? Zara whispered. Nix, still working desperately to repair their communications, looked up from his console. "Chief, I have been studying the approaching ships. Their design is completely unknown to me, but their weapon signatures are enormous. Each of their smallest ships carries more firepower than our entire planetary defense force." The human fleet dropped out of hyperspace like an avalanche of metal and fire. The Indomitable Will took position at the center of the formation, its massive bulk bristling with weapons that could crack planets. Around it, the other ships spread out in perfect attack formation, ready to engage what they believed were Void Hunter forces. Admiral Chen stood on her bridge, studying the sensor readings with growing confusion. "Commander Torres, are you seeing this?" Miguel was staring at his tactical display with a puzzled expression. "Admiral, I am only detecting one small vessel in this entire sector. It appears to be a mining platform. That is impossible, Sarah replied. The distress signal indicated massive Void Hunter activity. Where are the enemy fleets? On the mining platform, Zara and her crew watched in absolute terror as the human fleet surrounded them. The smallest human ship was 10 times larger than their entire platform. The largest ships were so massive they blocked out the stars. They are trying to communicate with us, Nix reported, his voice shaking with fear. On the main screen, Admiral Chen's face appeared. To the gentle Kenobi, she looked like a creature from their worst nightmares. Her face was hard and scarred from battle. Her uniform was covered with military decorations, and her eyes held the cold determination of a born warrior. Unknown vessel, Admiral Chen said in what she thought was a calm, professional tone. This is Admiral Sarah Chen of the Terran Federation Fleet. We received your distress signal regarding Void Hunter activity. Prepare to be boarded for emergency evacuation. To Admiral Chen, this was a standard rescue operation opening. To the terrified Kenobi, it sounded like a death sentence delivered by the most powerful military force they had ever seen. Zara's skin was now cycling through every color in the Kenobi emotional spectrum. Honored warriors, she managed to say, we are simple miners. We harvest healing crystals to help sick people throughout the galaxy. We mean no harm to anyone. Admiral Chen frowned at her tactical display. Something was very wrong here. The mining platform showed no signs of battle damage from Void Hunter weapons. There were no other ships in the area. And the alien speaking to her seemed genuinely terrified, rather than relieved to see rescue ships. Commander, she said quietly to Miguel, I think we may have made a terrible mistake. When Deathworlders come to help. Admiral Chen stared at the small mining platform floating helplessly in front of her massive fleet. The alien creature on the screen looked nothing like the vicious Void Hunters from the old war records. Instead, this being seemed fragile and terrified, with translucent skin that was shifting through colors so rapidly it looked like a broken rainbow. Commander Torres, Sarah said quietly, run a deep scan of this entire sector. Look for any signs of Void Hunter technology or battle damage. Miguel worked quickly at his console, coordinating with the sensor operators throughout the fleet. After several tense minutes, he looked up with confusion. Admiral, there is nothing here. No weapon signatures, no destroyed ships, no trace of Void Hunter technology. Just that one mining platform and some asteroids rich in biological healing compounds. Sarah felt a cold realization settling in her stomach. Are you telling me we brought the entire Titan fleet to rescue a mining accident? Before Miguel could answer, their communications officer looked up from her station. Admiral, our translation computers have been analyzing the platform's original distress signal. The message was heavily corrupted by equipment damage, but we have managed to decode the original transmission. Lieutenant Sarah Kim pulled up the corrected message on the main screen. According to this, they were never under attack. Their mining equipment overloaded during crystal extraction. When the communications array was damaged, it began broadcasting on random frequencies, including some very old military channels. The silence on the bridge was deafening. 300 warships, 200,000 Marines, and enough firepower to glass a planet, all mobilized because of a mining accident and a damaged radio. So let me understand this correctly, Admiral Chen said slowly. These peaceful miners had an equipment malfunction, and we interpreted their cry for help as a declaration of war against the most dangerous enemy in galactic history. That appears to be correct, Admiral, Miguel replied. On the mining platform, Chief Engineer Zora was having her own moment of realization. Nix had finally managed to repair enough of their communications to access the Galactic Information Network. What he found there made his skin turn completely white with shock. Chief Zora, Nix said in a voice barely above a whisper, I have been researching the beings who came to help us. They call themselves humans, and they are from a world called Earth. That is good to know, Zara replied. though she was still staring nervously at the massive fleet surrounding them. What kind of people are these humans? Nix consulted his display, his skin growing paler by the second. According to the Galactic database, humans come from what is classified as a Class 12 death world. Their planet has extreme weather, dangerous predators, deadly diseases, and natural disasters that can destroy entire continents. The survival rate for most galactic species on their world is estimated at less than 1%. Zara felt her own skin turning white. The death world. No wonder they look so terrifying. There is more, Nix continued. Humans are classified as an apex predator species. They evolved by hunting and killing the most dangerous creatures on their planet. Their military doctrine is based on something they call overwhelming force and acceptable losses. When they fight, they bring so much firepower that victory is guaranteed, even if it means destroying everything in the area. Young Pip, who had been listening from across the bridge, spoke up in a tiny voice. Chief Zara, if they are such dangerous warriors, why did they come to help us? Before Zara could answer, their communication system chimed with an incoming message. Admiral Chen appeared on their screen again, but this time her expression was different. Instead of the cold military bearing from before, she looked almost embarrassed. Chief Engineer Zara, Admiral Chen began, I owe you and your crew a sincere apology. We received your distress signal and misinterpreted it as an enemy transmission. We came here prepared for war, but it seems what you actually need is engineering assistance. Zara's skin began to shift toward a cautious blue-green. Honored Admiral, we are grateful for your concern, but we do not understand. Why would warriors like yourselves come to help simple miners? Admiral Chen was quiet for a moment, considering how to explain human nature to beings who had clearly never encountered anything like it. Chief Zara, where I come from, when someone calls for help, you help them. It does not matter if they are human or alien, friend or stranger. If someone is in trouble, you do whatever it takes to save them. But you brought an entire war fleet, Zara said, her confusion evident in the swirling colors of her skin. Because we did not know what we would find, Sarah replied. We prepared for the worst possible scenario, so we could handle any situation. That is how humans approach problems. We bring more help than we think we need, because it is better to have too much assistance than too little. Commander Torrid stepped forward on the human ship. Chief Zara, would you allow our engineering teams to come aboard and help repair your platform? We have equipment that can fix your communications and mining systems. Zara looked around at her crew. Their skin colors showed a mixture of fear, curiosity, and hope. Admiral Chen, your people are warriors from a death world. Are you certain it is safe for us to accept your help? Admiral Chen smiled, and for the first time, her expression looked gentle rather than intimidating. Chief Zara, I give you my word as an officer and as a human being. My people will treat you and your crew with respect and kindness. We are here to help, not to harm. Within an hour, human engineering teams were working alongside Kenobi miners to repair the damaged platform. The cultural differences were immediately obvious. The humans worked with efficiency and speed that amazed the Kenobi, while the Kenobi's gentle, careful approach fascinated the humans. Chief Martinez, the human head engineer, was working with Zara to rebuild the communications array. Your technology is incredible, he said, carefully handling the delicate crystal component. On Earth, we build things to survive in harsh conditions. Your people build things to work in harmony with natural forces. It is beautiful. Zara watched in amazement as Martinez used human tools to repair her equipment. The human devices were brutal and powerful, but Martinez used them with surprising delicacy. Your tools could destroy our entire platform, she observed. Yes, Martinez agreed, but they can also save it. Human tools are designed to handle any situation, from the most delicate repair to the most extreme emergency. We believe in being prepared for anything. As the repairs continued, Admiral Chen found herself in the platform's small meeting room, sharing a meal with Chief Zara and her crew. The Kenobi had prepared their finest foods, crystalline fruits that tasted like music and waters that sparkled with natural minerals. "Admiral Chen," Zura said as they ate, "may I ask you something about human culture?" "Of course," Sarah replied. "According to our databases, humans are considered one of the most dangerous species in the galaxy. Yet you came here to help strangers at great expense and effort. How do we reconcile these two facts?" Admiral Chen set down her crystal cup and considered the question carefully. "Chief Zara, humans are dangerous to those who threaten innocent people. We are protective of those who need help. The same instincts that make us effective warriors also make us committed protectors. But surely there must be some benefit for you in helping us," Pip said, his young voice filled with curiosity. "The benefit," Sarah replied, "is knowing that when we leave here, you and your crew will be safe and able to continue your work healing others throughout the galaxy. That knowledge is worth mobilizing our entire fleet." As the conversation continued, Nix made a discovery that changed everything. While accessing the Galactic database to learn more about humans, he had stumbled across classified information about the sector they were in. "Chief Zara," Nix said, interrupting the meal with obvious excitement, "I have found something important. This sector is not as empty as we thought." Zara looked up with concern. "What do you mean, Nix?" "According to these old military records, this area was once home to a Void Hunter garrison. The records indicate that while the main Void Hunter fleet was destroyed 2,000 years ago, this garrison was only driven into hibernation. They are still here, sleeping in a hidden base somewhere in this system." Admiral Chen was on her feet instantly, her military training taking over. "Are you saying the Void Hunters are actually here?" "Not active," Nix clarified. "But yes, they are here. The records indicate they went into deep sleep to wait for the galaxy to rebuild before emerging to destroy it again." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. The human fleet had come here expecting to fight Void Hunters and found peaceful miners instead. But now it turned out the Void Hunters really were here, just sleeping instead of attacking. Admiral Chen activated her communication device. "Commander Torres, I need you to verify some information immediately." Within minutes, the human fleet's most advanced sensors were scanning the entire star system. Deep beneath the surface of a dead moon, they found it. A massive Void Hunter base, powered down but intact, with thousands of the galaxy's most dangerous predators in hibernation. "How long before they wake up?" Admiral Chen asked. Nix consulted the data. "According to the calculations, they will emerge from hibernation in approximately 6 months. When they do, they will begin their campaign to destroy all life in this sector of the galaxy." Admiral Chen looked around the room at the gentle Kenobi, then activated her fleet communications. "All ships, this is Admiral Chen. We have confirmed the presence of dormant Void Hunter forces in this system. Prepare for assault operations on the following target." Chief Zara watched in amazement as the human fleet transformed from a rescue operation into a military strike force. The same ships that had come to help repair a mining platform were now preparing to eliminate the greatest threat the galaxy had ever known. "Admiral," Zara said quietly, "you came here by accident, found us instead of your enemy. And now you are staying to fight a battle that is not even yours to fight. Why?" Admiral Chen checked her weapons status as she answered. "Chief Zara, the Void Hunters threaten innocent people throughout this galaxy. Your safety, the safety of your homeworld, the safety of every peaceful species in this sector, depends on eliminating this threat. That makes it our fight." The human fleet began moving toward the dead moon, weapons charging and marines preparing for the assault that would determine the fate of countless worlds. And in the mining platform they left behind, the Kenobi crew watched their unexpected protectors go to war against an enemy that had nearly destroyed the galaxy once before. "Pip," Chief Zara said to her young assistant, "I think we have learned something important today about the humans." "What is that, Chief?" Pip asked. "They are indeed the most dangerous species in the galaxy, Zora replied, her skin glowing with gratitude and admiration. Dangerous to anyone who threatens the innocent.